generally people are one side of the argument or the other. And my argument on this has always, to my own side, basically, has said, look, in a sense, and this is very, very difficult to get away from self-preservation and what's in our own interest as a political party. But if you want an electoral system that really suits us, let's have first past the post from Coventry North and PR from Coventry down to the South Coast. That would be a kind of something that would guarantee us perhaps the best electoral system. But we have to look at this, and I think people from all parties have to look at this on the basis of, is our electoral system at the moment something we would be proud of in a functioning 21st century democracy? And I have, for 30 years of my life, always felt that this system is wrong. It was designed in an age when women didn't have the vote, when there wasn't a full franchise, working men didn't have the vote. It was designed for a two-party system. It was designed in an era where there were 2 MPs for every constituency. It was designed at a time when MPs did very little in terms of constituency work. Reading Roy Jenkins' fabulous biography of Churchill, when he was the Member of Parliament for Dundee, he went there twice in 10 years, which is for the 2 elections. And so the world has changed, everything has changed, and you wouldn't find many people looking to such an ancient 19th century part of how we do things and supporting it in practically every dot and comma as perfect for our system today. What's wrong with first past the post? Crikey. I mean, there is no perfect system, but first past the post is not just imperfect, it's woefully inadequate in a democracy. It sends British voters into a polling booth with their one measly cross. They have to make a choice. Am I going to vote for the person I want to represent me in this constituency, or am I going to vote for who I want to run the country? Unlike many systems of proportional representation, they don't have the opportunity to play tunes on this at all. It's one cross on that piece of paper. We waste votes to a tremendous degree.
It's hard to believe that there is any system of government that could produce an administration more feeble, more indecisive, more wrapped by internal feuding and division than this one, and yet it could. My friends, if we were to follow my cousin Alan and introduce proportional representation, because the tragedy of cousin Alan is that his cabinet colleagues are too pathetic to remove the Prime Minister. The tragedy of PR is that we would take that power away from the electorate themselves. And it's not just the cabinet who would be frustrated by their inability to get rid of Gordon, the people would be frustrated at the election. And there's one point that I want you all to absorb tonight, one statistic alone, and that is that in the 50 years since the war, there were 103 elections in Germany, Italy, Japan, Switzerland, Belgium, the Netherlands, Sweden, all countries, as Alan has pointed out, that employ PR and its endless stream of Buggins turn coalitions. And how often in those 103 elections did voters actually succeed in producing a change of government? 6 times. 6 times. So no matter how you try it, AD, STV, STV, whatever you try, PR is a fraud upon the electorate, because it will always tend, no matter how you can try it, will always tend to erode the sovereign right of the people to kick the rascals out. And you know, I'm not going to argue tonight, nor is my colleague Philip Norton, to argue the first past the post is perfect or perfectly proportional. There are 62 countries that have our system, 62 countries that have our best government, 49% of the world's electorate. But I'm not going to argue that it's perfect, no system is. And I know that there are some MPs, I see some of my former friends and colleagues here tonight, some MPs who deeply resent the constituency system and the contact that it applies to. I want you to know that I myself used to love my surgery. And I will always treasure the memory. I will always treasure the memory of the woman who came to me saying that she had slept with 2 identical twins, and since the DNA test was obviously inconclusive, she wondered if I could work out which was the father of the so that she could pursue him, with the child support agency. And that's true. And that is the stuff of politics. I want to preserve that. I want to preserve preserve that. I want to preserve the right of every MP to be so interrogated. And you know, Alan mocks, in his rather brilliant, he mocked the position of the Conservative position that I and my colleagues have adopted for many, many years, because he pointed out that it is currently heavily weighted against Conservatives, and he mocks us for sticking to our principles in the way that we do, doesn't he? He mocks us. He mocks us for putting public interest before party. And I tell you, folks, I think in 2010, the public would rather see us stick up for the interests of the electorate than the interests of politicians. And of course, it's true that in the last 50 years, it's true that you know, we compared Henley on Thames and Hull, and generally speaking, one of the defects of the moment is of course that generally speaking, Labour seats have shrunk and Conservative seats have expanded because you know, the voters very sensibly flee to seats held, flee from seats held by Labour MPs. The answer is to redraw the boundaries in the time-honoured way and not to impose some new system with so many perils and flaws.